Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Friday. Happy Friday. Today's Friday, April the 14th, 2023. I hope on this Friday you and your family are safe and healthy, and that the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field, along with the first responders who every day are out here trying to help people and save lives. Blessings upon those that pick up garbage for us to keep streets, sidewalks, parks, wrecks, buildings clean and disease-free. And those also that make deliveries for us for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women that are out here trying to help rescue, deliver, and recover. The teenagers and children that are unfortunate victims of child molestation, child abuse, and other forms of abuse. Also the victims that are victims of prostitution, child prostitution, victims of pornography, child pornography, human trafficking, sex slavery. Double curses on all of those who are perpetrators in these things. Those also that profit from these things, and those also who are the perverts of these things. Finally, blessings upon the homeless. Nearly 600,000 men, women, and children, mostly children, living on the streets of the United States of America, and millions around the world in similar or worse conditions. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. There's a basketball game scheduled for tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. in Cleveland. The biggest basketball game the Knicks have had in 2 years. Playoffs begin. Knicks, 5th seed, Cleveland, 4th seed, battling because of their positioning, but also because of a trade that happened for Cleveland and didn't happen for the Knicks. That is the Donovan Mitchell trade. The Don talked with Danny Ainge. The Don talked with the Ripper, which we knew was going to be a problem from the beginning. And it was. The Ripper was doing his ripping, and the Don wasn't having it. And so the Don ended up backing away from the table. Made a lot of Knicks fans very upset. Me, I was happy about it. Because you see, brethren, we must remember this one thing that many forget. You can't just throw any good players together and hope they work out because they're great players. I know you need talent to win in the NBA, especially to win the championship. But if you committed to Jalen Brunson as your point guard, you don't need another point guard. I don't care if it's Damian Lillard or Donovan Mitchell or anyone else. For example, I advocated for 2024-2025 to take a hard look at LaMelo Ball. But I understand in advocating for that, we'd have to move Jalen Brunson. Okay? Now, some of y'all don't think that far ahead, and that's fine. So that all sounds crazy right now. So we won't go into it. But for now, the Knicks are not trading Jalen Brunson. They just committed to him for 4 years. So he is going to be a New York Knick, and there's nobody that's going to come, I don't care how good he is, to take Jalen Brunson's place. I don't care who it is. Nobody's coming for the point guard's position. Okay? And we got obviously capable point guards behind him that can't get time or can't get enough time, which also creates its own set of problems. So with regard to Damian Lillard, with regard to Donovan Mitchell, these were good moves once they committed to Jalen Brunson. If they hadn't committed to Jalen Brunson, okay, then we could talk. But they had by the time. So it wasn't going to be a move that was made. And that's why I tried to warn y'all a couple of days ago about this coming storm with Damian Lillard. All he has to do is mention he wants to be traded. And he only have to mention the Knicks. And you're going to hear the media howl about how we need to give up half our team to get Damian Lillard. And I'm going to tell you right now, that was what happened last year. As soon as it was evident that when they traded Rudy Gobert, and it was evident they were going to trade Donovan Mitchell, there were howls out of everywhere. You got to get there, Donovan Mitchell. You can't be talking, what, you're going to hold out Quentin Grimes? What's wrong with you? You're going to get a superstar in Donovan Mitchell. Y'all remember how this worked out? How Grimes worked out? I think we did good. And whatever marginally better we might have been, I'm glad we didn't do the deal. And we keep our kids, we keep our youngins, we keep the people we drafted. Speaking of that, today, I want to go into the enigma that is R.J. Barrett. Okay. First off, I would like us to remember. See, this is a thing in this era in which we live, in which we're watching professional basketball. There is obviously differences in previous eras. There's a lot that's the same, but then there's a lot of differences. In previous eras, for example, when an NBA player, when a guy came from college to come to the NBA, generally he was about 22 years old. Generally, even guys that left early were generally still about 22 years old, 21, 22 years old when they came to the NBA. So that their rookie year, they were 22. And by the time they got to 26, they figured it out and they were in their prime and they were playing the best basketball of their life. That's generally, in 99% of the cases, how it worked. There's some exceptions, a Kobe Bryant, a Magic Johnson, but as you can see, they came along almost 20 years apart because that's how rare it is to get somebody at that time that wasn't 22, that wasn't 18 or 19 years old that could come in and just play. Okay, those are maestros, those are virtuosos. That's why they're rare. Okay, that doesn't happen all the time. Or LeBron James, who at age 16, they were trying to figure out how to get him in the league because he was a prodigy. That's why he is. But most players aren't like that. And in today's NBA, because of the way things have changed, because of the amount of money involved, especially, a lot of kids are coming into the league when they're 18, 19, 20. Okay. And they're not ready. They're not ready to play with grown men, really. But then every once in a while, you'll get that one, again, that virtuoso, that Luka, that Ja type player that can come in and they're 20 years old and they can rock from day one. The problem is because of guys like that, Knicks fans seem to think that every rookie should play like that. But it's not so. And because they don't, they're not failures. They just haven't grown yet. So I keep mentioning to people RJ is 22, although he's in his fourth season. And everybody's like, you're using an excuse. It is not an excuse. It is his age. He's 22. You remember when you were 22? Some of y'all, I believe that are saying this, it probably ain't even 22 yet. But some of y'all that, I should remember, what were you like at 22? Were you mature at 22? Will you finish your development at 22? So RJ being 22 is not where he's going to be when he's 24 or 25. He's not polished. He's still being buffered. Okay? So, and again, from his rookie year, from when I saw him at Duke, but especially his rookie year, Jimmy Butler kept coming to my mind. Jimmy Butler kept coming to my mind. Okay, because of their similarities. Both of them are strong, bodily strong young men. Well, Jimmy Butler's not a grown man, but when he was a young man. When he came in the league, Jimmy Butler, he was 22. And his first year, he only played like sparingly. You know, he played like 8 minutes a game. Only appeared in like 40 games, something like that. By the time he was in his fourth season, he was starting. That's when he started averaging 20 a game. He was 25. Okay, mature body. Right now, Jimmy Butler, 6'7", solid 230. He's a grown man now. RJ is still actually growing into his body. But neither of them is what you would call athletic. Okay, they both are strong in body. That's their MO. They both very strong. They could bully ball you. Okay, Jimmy Butler, what you're looking at right now, is the polished version. Footwork is elite. He could run classes on footwork. RJ is still learning his footwork, but he's going to get there, especially since the Knicks went and invested in Jalen Brunson. It's already showing on all the teams. Everybody's learning footwork from Jalen Brunson, who's a master at footwork. Okay? RJ is like most NBA players. Most NBA players are bigger, stronger, faster than other human beings. Just period. They've usually been like that all their life. By the time they was in 7th or 8th grade, it was already evident they were bigger, stronger, faster. Now, some guys grow in the 7th, 8th grade to their height. They don't grow no more. That's it. Some guys don't grow until later, like an Obi Toppins. He's 5'10", and then all of a sudden he goes to high school at junior year. He goes to 6'6", and then he's now 6'9". That doesn't happen to a lot of guys. Generally speaking, though, they're bigger, stronger, faster than their human being peers, okay? And to go to the NBA, that's just the basic requirement. And then, of course, you got to have some sort of power, skill, something that separates you from other bigger, stronger, faster human beings that play basketball, okay? For example, in the case of LeBron James, bigger, stronger, faster, skilled, IQ. Can do everything on the basketball floor at a high level. Giannis Antetokounmpo, bigger, stronger, faster. Can dribble the whole length of the court and dunk on you in 3 dribbles. Okay? He's almost 7 feet tall and can dribble the length of the court and dunk on you in 3 dribbles. Right? He also plays defense like he's a ballerina. He can move his feet, his hips, and he got the 7-foot wingspan. He cannot shoot. But he does the other things I just mentioned at the highest level possible. Okay? And that's what makes him special. RJ is his strength. His strength. Now, he's got to learn the footwork to put it all together. Got to learn the footwork. And I still believe he's going to become a better shooter. Now, if you're I look at Jimmy Butler and RJ Barrett for their career. Like I said, it's not quite the same because, like I said, RJ is 22 now. Butler is obviously, he's like 32, 33. So he's much older, but he's in tremendous condition, and Butler's body has been well preserved. But for their careers, it's eerily similar. I'm looking at stathead.com, and I'm comparing the career of RJ Barrett to the career of Jimmy Butler, and just look at the numbers. So for their average, they both average 18. RJ's 18.1, Jimmy Butler's 18.2. They average for assists. Jimmy Butler averages 4.2. RJ averages 2.8 because Jimmy Butler, again, is a more accomplished playmaker. Rebounds, 5.4 to 5.3. Okay. Foul shooting, Jimmy Butler's a way better foul shooter, 84% versus 71. And the thing is that that's really one of Jimmy Butler's biggest things, is that he gets to the line a lot. RJ also gets to the line a lot. RJ gets to the line 5 times a game. Butler gets to the line 7 times a game. So they both get to the line a lot. RJ's going to have to improve in that area for sure. The 2-point field goal percentage, 50% for Butler, 46% for RJ. The 3-point percentage, 34 for RJ, 32 for Butler. I mean, it's very similar. Very similar. And especially for RJ being 22. So in a couple of years, these numbers are going to improve for RJ. He's going to become more polished in his footwork, more polished in his playmaking. He's going to get better, okay? The problem with RJ is he's not there yet. Whereas, for example, the Knicks just drafted Quentin Grimes in 2021. This is his 2nd season. He's already better than RJ. Okay, he's already better. And he's still 22. Now, again, that's not RJ's fault. But that brings the Knicks forward. Then you get Jalen Brunson in his prime next to that. Then you get Mitchell Robinson, who's now finally after the development, and that's what I'm saying, 5 and 1s take longer to develop, period. There were people talking about Mitch fouls too much and he's never going to be good when he was a rookie in his 2nd year. And I was telling them how stupid they sound because athletic 5s like that do that. That's what they do. That's part of getting introduced to the NBA. So after his 2nd, 3rd season, obviously you ain't see him foul out like that because it takes that time to learn how to run a defense, learn what the offense is doing. There's a lot to playing the 5, just like the 1. So now you have a mature and ready Mitch Rob. Then, of course, you got Julius Randle in his prime. So the only guy that's still developing in the starting 5 is RJ. Okay? And that's not his fault, but it holds back the development of the Knicks as a whole. Okay? Not that they won't get there. that is the Knicks, get to the promised land, that is championship. But you have to wait a couple of seasons. Now, the thing about a young player like RJ is that, as I mentioned the other day with when we were talking about Chicago Bulls, I was talking to you about the Chicago Bulls, and I was talking to you about their bench, and not the Chicago Bulls, I'm sorry, the Atlanta Hawks and their bench. And their bench of the Hawks, they just blossomed. Like Onyeka Okongwu just, he's turned that corner. It just happened, you just never know. He just turned that corner, and now he's a starter level 5 coming off the bench. Jason Johnson, again, we didn't know if he was going to be mature enough to play in NBA. Talent-wise, he had. But now they seem to have him, in a good space, mature-wise, and he's coming off the bench. Sadiq Bey was good coming out of Villanova, and he's mature. And then they add a veteran sharpshooter in Bogdanovich, and they have a dynamic bench that's meshing at the right time. So what I'm saying is you just never know when that blossom will come. And we've been all waiting for RJ for 3 years, 4 years now. All right, when's he going to pop to that next all-star level? When he doesn't, we all get disappointed. No, it's just going to come when it comes. It could come during this playoffs. He could all of a sudden blow up during this playoffs. Okay? It could happen. But generally, RJ's a slow starter. Starts his seasons slow, starts his games slow, his career starts slow. RJ's a slow starter. And will get better as time goes on. Okay? But in New York, you can't do that. Not without much consternation. So what happens is now the Knicks have a bit of a problem, because it's a good problem. So I mentioned the starting 5, but then you got an Obi Toppin, who in my opinion is also, if you gave Obi Toppin the minutes you give RJ Barrett, we wouldn't have any problem. The Knicks would have been higher in the East. Obi be doing work. And we'd be better. But again, no, it's not going to happen. Okay? Then you got Emmanuel Quickly, who in my opinion is better than RJ Barrett right now. Right now, he's better. Okay? He's a better basketball player on both sides of the basketball in terms of anything you want to talk about. Defense, offense, IQ, everything. Passing, he's just better. Shooting, better. Foul shooting, better. 3-level score, better. He's better than RJ, but he's on the bench. Okay? Problem is, after 4 seasons, you got to make a decision on players like this. Okay? So at this point, in my opinion, Obi, IQ, and Grimes are better as far as they're ahead of the development of RJ. That's not saying RJ will never get there. He's just coming slower. Okay? That's all. It's just a matter of the speed of the development. It's still coming. Because RJ, one thing he does do is work extremely hard to get better. So, and when he doesn't, Tom Thibodeau, I don't know about all the other players, but he's dialed into RJ. He knows how to push RJ's buttons. Okay, he knows what to say to get RJ to get a message and to move on. He got RJ down. Okay, so the Knicks got decisions to make, because not only do you have that, but now you have guys, because the Knicks have been successful in their drafting, in their development, and now in year 3 in the 5th seed. Because of that success, now you have guys at other teams are now doing what you wanted them to do 3 years ago. Do you want them to look at the Knicks and say, I think I'm that last piece to get them over the top? And you have a number of guys that's going to do that, including Jeremy Grant, including Damian Lillard, including other players. They're looking at the Knicks and they're saying, you know what? If I go there, we can win a chip. And so you got this dynamic of other players that are going to be looking at New York in that way. And within New York, you got talent. We're in a real good spot in Knicks Nation, I'm just telling you. But that's where we are. So we could stand pat, but we can't. See, like in other words, we could just go into next year with this same team. Like I said, we go into next year with this same exact roster. We win in 50 plus games next year. Same roster. Because of the continuity, because of the continued development that we're going to see. We're going to, same roster, 50 games next year. But you can't. Because Obi, his clock is ticking. Okay, his clock is ticking now. He can't be 26 and getting 12 minutes a game. So something's got to be done. You don't want to lose Obi. But then you got Julius Randle. You got Julius Randle, who you committed $100 million to in his prime, he's already a second-time All-Star in New York out of 3 years under Tom Thibodeau. His 4th year in New York, but second-time All-Star under 3 years under Tom Thibodeau. He's already been All-NBA once. He may get it again. What are you going to do? Well, you could play Obi at the 3, but then you have this young man, RJ Barrett. You cannot sit Quentin Grimes. Quentin Grimes is a better basketball player than RJ Barrett right now. He is just a better player. If you gave Quentin Grimes the amount of shots that you give RJ Barrett for his career averages 15 field goal attempts per game. If Quentin Grimes averaged 15 field goal attempts in 34 minutes per game, you'd have a 25-point scorer and an All-NBA defender. That's what I say. That's what you have. No, you cannot sit Quentin Grimes. He's not the guy coming off the bench. No, it would have to be RJ. If you're not going to trade RJ, RJ needs to go to Mobb Deep. If you want to keep your team together, eventually he has to go to Mobb Deep. But even that could change with this Cleveland series. If RJ comes out, one of the things about RJ that I've always liked, if the game is a big game, if it's a big game now, this boy going to show up. I'm going to tell you, he's going to show up, okay? He goes to another level. He got that gene in him, okay? He goes to another level. It's a baby one right now, but you're going to see as time goes on, he's going to be that dude. So he could decide to bust out in this Cleveland series. That complicates everything. Then something, like I said yesterday's video, something's got to give. Something's got to give. You can't keep them all and keep them all happy. It's not going to be able to be done. Okay, you don't want to be going into paying max salaries to everybody. You ain't won no championship yet. Golden State could do that because they don't want 4 championships. They go ahead, pay the tax. They winning chips. See, they gonna get they got their new stadium in San Francisco. People gonna be there. They selling their jerseys. They selling their sneakers. They gonna get their sky boxes filled up. They winning championships. If that was happening in New York, believe me, they do the same thing. Everybody gets max deals. They winning chips. But we're not there yet, so you can't do it right now. You got RJ on a nice $100 million deal. You got Randle on a nice $100 million deal. You got Brunson on a $100 million deal. You might be able to get away with IQ on some deal like that because of the rise coming up in the salaries, the rise coming up in the team money, the money to revenue. You might be able to get away with that. Maybe even another $100 million deal. But you can eventually it's going to catch up to you. Okay, eventually it is. So you got to make some moves. So it's very important, this Cleveland series, for a lot of people. It's important for Obi. It's important for RJ. It's important for Brunson for different reasons. It's important for Grimes because to me, aside, like I said, I'm expecting Brunson to be playoff Brunson. Now, he's not going to disappoint. Brunson going to come out and do his do. He's going to do what he do. But if Obi rises to the occasion without a Randle being available, and not only that, even when Randle comes back, you got Brunson, you got Randle, you got RJ all pressing, all trying to prove something. That's going to leave Quentin Grimes. If you leave Quentin Grimes, like I said, the Knicks got to make sure he gets touches. He needs touches. You get this young man touches, we're going to be positively benefited here. Okay, and we need to keep that defense tight, which is why as long as Randle's out, you need to bring Deuce McBride into that 9-man rotation. You need that defense. I think Tom understands that. We should not ever see Evan Fournier in this whole playoff. He should just be a cheerleader, give him the pom-poms and whatever, give him his money, and then in the offseason offload him because we need that money. But the juice needs to come up into that 9-man rotation. We need this defense to be tight. This is playoff time. It's going to be grinded out, y'all. Okay, we need big-time defensive players right now. So RJ, though, that's the enigma that we have. That's the problem we have. He could bust out at any time. He's going to be a player. I have no doubts about that. The question is, what relations to first a guy like an Obi Toppins, Emmanuel Quickly, and the Grimes, who are all ahead of him to me right now. What do we do? And then with the question of a Jeremy Grant becoming available, the possibility of others might break loose and want to be in New York. Other, guys. Suppose Kawhi Leonard decides he wants to be in New York. Suppose PG-13 decides he wants to be in New York. I'm saying anything could happen. This is an important playoff for a lot of teams. Stakes are very high here. Okay. And so, and then of course, if Philly loses ahead of time, watch out for Joel Embiid. All of that. Okay. So there's going to be some decisions that need to be made. We're at a point of critical mass right now. What will help the Knicks make those decisions is success in the postseason. If the Knicks are able to get past Cleveland in the first round, and then go into the second round and at least take it 6 games if they have to play the Bucks, and God forbid win the series, well, then that changes the whole conversation. Nobody's getting traded now because all of our guys are too valuable and everybody will get paid. It's going to be tough, though, because like I said, with that luxury tax, it's going to be hard. So anyway, then, of course, you got Josh Hart, who's going to get a new contract as well. See? Anyway, decisions. But for RJ, right now, like I said, I'm not disappointed in him. I'm not expecting any more than what he's doing. I expect him to eventually, like I said, 2 more seasons. I'm guessing in that, and 2 more seasons like a turkey in the oven. 2 more seasons in there, he's going to be ready to pop. And I'm not worried about that, but what are we going to do in the meantime? Could we win a chip if we got Grant now? Could we win a chip if we put Obi in that spot? I think anything's possible. You might. That's what I'm saying. And if you wanted to keep everybody and start Obi at the 3, which is what I'd want, I'd have RJ with Josh. It'd be Josh Hart, RJ Hartenstein in the second unit with IQ. If we can keep, that's what I would do. Let them play together in the second unit, 9-man rotation. Okay. Then we'd probably trade Deuce because, and I know the Don don't want to do that. How do I know? Because Deuce is on a $1.8 million deal. Whoever gets him is getting a guy that can start at $1.8 million. But see, this is the problems you have when you draft well, develop well, and win, as the Knicks have done. Anyway, y'all have a tremendous Friday. I'll be watching the game a little later. Then I'll watch the replay after that. But we'll watch it. Enjoy the Shabbat. Shalom.